Hey everybody, welcome to the 3 minutes late version of ClearPath LeaderCast. I thought I had gone live and I was really on a roll, and then I got a bunch of warnings that I needed to get live on Facebook. So welcome to ClearPath LeaderCast. You can catch us every week at 5 o'clock Eastern, both on my personal Facebook channel and our ClearPath Leaders Forum, and on our YouTube channel, ClearPath, for ClearPath Coaching and Consulting. Every week we talk about different leadership topics, different ways that you can become a better leader or help your organization have better leaders. And today we're really focused on that latter piece. Today what I want to talk about is the importance of building a culture of leadership development in your organization. Far too often I see that companies don't really put much focus in on that. And we start to create problems. We have a group of leaders or managers in our organization. Sorry to have my phone in my hand, but I've got my notes on there today. Far too often, I see that we have managers and leaders in the organization who don't know how to coach and mentor and develop employees and help them start to reach and fulfill their potential. And when we don't create that in our leaders and managers that exist today, we start to create generational crises of leadership in our organization. What do I mean by generational crises of leadership is now, if I haven't developed that next generation and if I promote them, I haven't shown them or modeled them how they can be coaches and mentors and leaders, or I'm going outside my organization to bring leaders in, which one is a disincentive to people in my own organization, which is really created by me because I didn't work to develop them. And I don't continue kind of the culture and the engagement because a new leader is going to bring in some of their cultural artifacts from wherever they were. So we really start creating these generational leadership problems where we just can't continue the culture we want in our organization, the leadership methods we want in our organization. So it's really a big problem if we don't find out ways to create a culture of leadership development in our organization. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about 3 things that you can do and implement in your organization to start. I'm not going to tell you I'm going to have this all solved for you in 15 minutes today. But what I am going to tell you is 3 steps that you can take now to start building a culture of leadership development in your organization so you can start finding those leaders and finding those people with leadership potential so they can develop into the next generation of leaders for your business. And I do want to say from the outset that, this idea that people are born leaders, I do not agree with. I think everybody has the potential to be leaders. Whether they choose to pursue that is really something that they need to choose for themselves. We need to find and cultivate into those people who want it and to show that potential to people who don't see it in themselves, because that's how we build up that next generation of leaders in our organization. So let's talk about the 3 things that you can do. Is one, the very first thing I want to talk about today is about being intentional about building a leadership development culture. Far too often I just see kind of the hand waving, yeah, we should have some leadership training. Go HR person, go find that. And the problem when we just kind of hand wave that and pass that down is we're not demonstrating it as the leaders in the organization. If we're not reinforcing to the leaders in our organization that we want to we want to create that culture and we want to find and help and develop leaders, then we're really not doing it very seriously. We have to be intentional. We need from the owner and the CEO on down to talk to the leaders in the business about the importance of cultivating leaders in our organization. And of course, that means some intentional training programs, but it also means within our culture, we have to be intentional about, one, having our leaders keep an eye on the members of their team for the people who have that potential, and then working with them to start fulfilling that potential. And that could be coaching, that could be mentoring, tagging them to be in certain programs. That is such a crucial and important part, is getting our leaders to realize it is their job to develop leaders in the organization. It's not anybody else's. Other people will facilitate that, but it is their job to start developing those leaders. So we really need to start pushing that message down through the organization. And then 2, we need to train our leaders, 1, through people senior to them, showing them how to coach and mentor and develop people, and then provide them with the training of how to coach and develop and mentor the people that are on their teams into these potential leadership roles. And I can't say it enough that we really want to work towards helping people who don't see that leadership potential in themselves find that within themselves. Show them when you see it, show them how you can see it in there. It's such an important part. And it was something that I was most proud of in my last role is finding people and tapping them on the shoulder and say, I really think you should apply for this job. Let us help you get the skills that you need. So we have to be very intentional about it. It is not, I love the phrase that success is not a happy accident. It is not a happy accident that we generate as we create leaders. We have to figure out how to do it. And we have to make that part of our vision for the organization and our strategies for developing our people. The next is to build that culture of mentorship and collaboration. We need to, when we get people in teams, we're going to see those leaders evolve. When we work towards collaboration, we're going to see people who work well in that environment because we really are moving towards a more collaborative workplace over time. So who are the people who can take on those leadership roles, not by force of their personality, but actually bringing people on board and giving them that vision to move forward? That's the benefit of seeing that when we start building in collaborations and teams and giving people kind of, maybe I don't have a leadership title, but where can I give them a leadership role in a task force or something like that, that we give them an opportunity to kind of flex those leadership muscles. And then when we do that, mentoring them, showing them, being the person who can answer their questions before the meeting as they may have to deal with things, or after the meeting to help them break down what it is that they went through in the meeting. These are the important things, is to build that mentorship and teach our own leaders how to mentor and how to come alongside our employees and really show them how to lead and say, hey, I think you did well here. Here's something that you probably could do better. Or you have that problem. Let's talk through that problem and let's explore ways that we can find for you to be successful in leading the team. And even understanding that, being just because you have the title leader doesn't mean you always get your way. There are those opportunities where it maybe you see something that you're actually wrong, and you're going to find out, how do you deal with that? How do you feel that when you're strong in a position and then realize someone has brought a better way to the table, and find that way to kind of get my own self turned around to where I can do that. So we need to mentor and grow these people in our organization and give them opportunities to lead, show them where they may have a potential they don't even realize that they have, and give them opportunities to flex those muscles to grow as a leader, or to say, you know what, I appreciate this opportunity, but that's not where I want to go. Having experienced leadership, I think I'm just going to take a pass. And there's an importance to people who want to be the individual contributors in the organization, and to have that self-awareness to say, geez, I don't want that promotion because that's not what I want to do. So let's really work towards building that collaboration and mentorship to identify and cultivate those leaders. The last piece is creating those opportunities for professional development. There is a role for professional development training. There is a role for getting people into leadership roles. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can do this. You might say, well, we're a smaller business. We don't have a big budget for training. We don't have a lot of financial means to do that. And that's fine. You can do this at a lot of different levels. You can get books for folks. You may have articles on leadership and have discussion groups on leadership. Bring those people who are those potential leaders together for just discussions of leaders. Bring different leaders in to talk to them about how they might be able to do it, both from within your business and perhaps from leaders you respect in other businesses. Show them the way that way. Get some books on leadership. Get a book club going. Have those book discussions. You can also, that's kind of the probably the least expensive way to do it. You can also bring in leadership training programs, or send them off to leadership training programs. You can find a lot of these opportunities online. You can find a lot of these opportunities. What I think is important is encouraging our people to find those resources, bring those to the table and say, hey, I would like to grow my skills in this area. May I take this class? And give them the opportunities to do that. I'm really impressed with companies that have the budgets where they just kind of give people a set budget that they themselves can spend of the company dollar to improve themselves. So look for those opportunities as well as you grow. And then kind of on the other end is bringing in coaches, help leadership coaches help them develop their leadership skills, going from very general kind of broad book review type thing to the very specific one-to-one coaching that you can help people with. Either way, creating those opportunities for professional development is so crucial for you to build that next generation of leaders in your organization. So that is really the 3 steps that you can really start putting in place today towards building a leadership development culture in your organization. Because as you grow, especially when you kind of go through those spurts of big growth in your company, you're going to quickly need leaders. And if you have to go outside the organization to pull those people in, it's going to take a longer ramp up cycle to get them on board, to understand how you want to do things and how your company runs and how you want your company to be run. Where you have that opportunity to bring those leaders in from your internal sources, develop those people, really test and know the people who are going to be successful. That's where you're going to build a long-term leadership culture for your organization. You're going to get out of that generational leadership crisis and really put your company in a position to be successful for the long haul. So that's what we've got today. One other opportunity I want to talk about, talking about leadership. If you are a leader in your organization and you are struggling, maybe you came in with your great idea from an entrepreneurial standpoint and it's taken off, or maybe you had a great kind of tech idea or whatever it is that's grown, or maybe you're an accountant who's grown in your accounting firm and you're finding yourself now, I'm just not in the role that I'm trained for. I'm now finding myself in a whole different world and finding myself leading groups of teams. I am having a very small invite-only workshop on June 22nd, where we're going to go through some of the 3 biggest leadership issues that what I call accidental leaders, like I was when I kind of came up through my own in my career. Accidental leaders or accidental executives becoming confident leaders. So we're going to have that workshop. It's invite only. We're keeping it very small so we can get a lot of back and forth and questions. But if you are interested, you can send me a note at craig@clearpathcoaches.com and we will get you signed up and we'll talk through what the opportunity is. So that's it for this week, everybody. We will see you next Thursday. Thanks. Bye-bye.